The moon bled across the sky, painting the mountains red as Linda, a Native American woman with eyes like shining stars, ran desperately. A terrifying roar echoed between the peaks, the cry of a hungry creature. Jason, the newly transformed vampire, followed close behind, torn between the desire to protect her and the fear of the power awakening within her. But what was that strange symbol etched into Linda's skin? An ancient and mysterious mark that only appeared under the red moon's light. Will he be able to save her from the encroaching darkness, or will her power be their salvation? The moon, red as spilled blood, bathed the landscape in a sinister light. The mountains, usually imposing and silent, seemed to breathe an air of imminent danger. Linda, her long black hair like the night, ran with surprising agility, her bare feet barely touching the ground. The wind howled around her, carrying the sharp scent of damp earth and the palpable fear that chilled Jason to the bone. He was a vampire, yes, newly transformed, still learning to control the insatiable thirst that consumed him, but something beyond predatory instinct drove him to protect Linda. It was a new, strange feeling, making him weak and strong at the same time. Love. With each step, the mark on her skin pulsed with a reddish light, an ancient tribal symbol that only appeared under the bloody moon's glow. A symbol representing the ancestral strength of the wolves that coursed through her veins, a power she hadn't yet mastered, but which was beginning to manifest with terrifying fury. She could feel the raw energy building within her, a power that frightened but also fascinated her. It was the strength of her ancestors, kept secret for generations, a secret that could save her or destroy her. The howls drew closer, louder, nearer. They were the werewolves, ferocious and relentless creatures, commanded by the sinister Malcor, a being with yellow eyes and teeth as sharp as razors, whose thirst for blood was even more insatiable than that of an ordinary vampire. Malcor craved the power Linda possessed, the ancestral power of her tribe, to dominate the territory and plunge the world into bloody chaos. He wanted to use Linda as a conduit to access this power. Jason watched the scene, his heart, or whatever replaced it, pounding in his chest. He wasn't yet fully a vampire and couldn't understand the strange feeling inside him. It was a mixture of fear and something deeper, a desire to protect her, to save her from the werewolf's fury and the very power that threatened to consume her. He loved her, despite the danger surrounding her, despite his fear. With each howl, each step closer of the werewolves, Jason felt the urgency grow. He needed to decide. He needed to act. Linda stumbled, her knees buckling on the damp earth. The howls were deafening now, and Malcor's silhouette emerged from the darkness, followed by a hungry pack, their eyes gleaming like burning embers. Fear shone in her eyes, but it wasn't just fear. It was a visceral fear mixed with rising rage. The ancestral power within her, once a whisper, now roared like thunder, ready to explode. The symbol on her skin pulsed intensely, radiating a red light that illuminated her pale face. Jason approached, his sharp fangs ready to fight, but it wasn't against Linda that he would fight, but to save her. He didn't know the extent of Linda's power, but he knew, deep in his heart, that this force, powerful as it was, needed control, help, someone to protect it, even if that someone was a newly transformed vampire, still learning to deal with his new and dangerous abilities. The confrontation was inevitable. The battle between vampires, werewolves, and Linda's ancestral power was about to begin, under the relentless gaze of the bloody moon. But amidst this darkness, a spark of hope shone. Jason's love for Linda, a love that transcended the differences between species and fueled his courage in the storm. Their survival depended on it, a love both fragile and resilient. Malcor's roar echoed again, closer now, shattering the silence of the night. Linda, eyes wide, felt the power of her ancestors invade her completely. The mark on her skin glowed like a burning ember, pulsing with such intense energy that it seemed to burn her from within. It was a strange, frightening sensation, but at the same time, powerful, liberating. She could feel the power of the wolves coursing through her veins, the power of her ancestors, a power that made her capable of unimaginable things. Jason, noticing Linda's transformation, felt a chill run down his spine. He knew something powerful was happening, something that could save them, or destroy them all. He moved to her side, positioning himself between her and the approaching werewolves, his fangs sharpened and ready for attack. The decision was now. It was a fight against the hungry werewolves, who craved her power but also a fight against the very force growing within Linda, a force as powerful as it was dangerous. The werewolves, their eyes gleaming with fury and bloodlust, charged at them. Malcor, imposing, led the way, his teeth like gleaming blades in the darkness. Jason fought with the ferocity of a wild animal, his movements agile and precise, despite his recent transformation. He dodged sharp claws, bit, scratched, but he knew he couldn't defeat the entire pack alone. Linda, initially frightened, began to feel control over the ancestral power growing within her. She was no longer just Linda, the Native American woman fleeing the werewolves. She was something more, an ancient power sealed for generations, awakened within her. With a low, deep growl, she rose. The red light emanating from the symbol on her skin intensified, radiating intense heat. Her expression changed, her dark eyes gleaming with the ancestral strength of the wolves. Her movements became swift and powerful, her agility supernatural. It was the strength of her ancestors, the strength of the wolves, flowing through her veins. She attacked the werewolves with incredible fury. Her hands became deadly weapons, capable of delivering powerful blows with unimaginable force. The werewolves, despite their ferocity, were taken by surprise by Linda's unpredictable fury. Some fell, incapacitated by the raw force of the supernatural blows. Jason, watching the scene in astonishment, realized she was in control, and this ancestral power was her trump card, her most powerful weapon. But Malcor wasn't just any werewolf. He was the leader, the most powerful of them, and he sensed the same power in Linda that he wanted for himself. With a leap, he lunged at her, his teeth bared in an attempt to steal her power. The fight between them was fierce, violent. Linda's ancestral power clashed with Malcor's cruelty and experience. Jason, though wounded, joined the fight, striving to protect the woman he loved. He fought not only against Malcor and his subordinates, but also against his own vampiric instincts, against the thirst that consumed him and the danger of succumbing to it. Amidst the chaos, with the red moon witnessing the battle, Jason found himself torn between saving Linda and controlling his predatory instincts. He knew that if he fell into this temptation, he would lose Linda and the battle against Malcor, and the world would be in danger. Malcor, furious, noticed Linda's growing strength and attacked with all his might. A bloody and suspenseful battle unfolded, as the fate of Linda, Jason, and everyone hung in the balance, decided under the sinister light of the red moon and the ancient power of the wolves that had awakened within her. Jason's love for Linda fueled him, giving him strength to fight to the end. The end was near and it was uncertain. The moon bled across the sky, painting the desperate fight red. Linda, the Native American woman with blazing eyes, fought Malcor, the leader of the werewolves, a monster with yellow eyes and claws as sharp as knives. The ancestral power of the wolves, dormant for generations, now exploded within her, an indomitable force that made her almost invincible. Her blows were precise and powerful, knocking down werewolves like dominoes. But Malcor was strong, very strong, and with each attack, Linda felt the real threat of his power. He was a whirlwind of muscle and claws, relentless and cruel. Jason, the newly transformed vampire, fought alongside Linda, his heart pounding against his ribs. He was an unlikely ally, a predator amidst a battle between prey and hunters, but his love for Linda surpassed their natures. He fought not only against the werewolves, but also against himself, against the insatiable thirst that consumed him, a bloodthirsty desire that threatened him at every moment. Every bite, every scratch on his body was a reminder of this constant danger. Malcor roared, a wave of fury that shook the air. He lunged at Linda, claws and teeth bared, determined to steal the ancestral power that consumed her. It was a battle of titans, a deadly dance between an ancient force and a relentless enemy. Linda, despite her supernatural strength, felt overwhelmed by Malcor's fury. Her powerful blows were deflected with the skill of an experienced predator. With each attack from Malcor, Jason placed himself in front of Linda, absorbing some of the blows, his body hurting, but his determination unwavering. A piercing howl ripped through the night, a cry of pain and defeat. One of Malcor's werewolves, severely wounded by Linda's supernatural blows, fell to the ground, defeated. But there were still many others, hungry and relentless. The fight continued, violent and desperate, under the relentless gaze of the red moon. Linda, exhausted but determined, realized that she couldn't defeat Malcor alone. She needed Jason's help, but the danger was too great, his bloodlust a constant threat. Jason, sensing Linda's strength waning, realized he couldn't hesitate. He needed to find a way to help without succumbing to his vampiric instincts. With a cry of effort, he threw himself against Malcor, diverting his attention from Linda. It was a suicidal act of courage, a risky move that could cost him his life, but it was their only chance. He used his supernatural agility to deflect Malcor's attacks, dodging his claws and bites, while searching for an opening, a weakness in the monster. Amidst the confusion, Linda, watching the fight between Jason and Malcor, spotted a large, pointed stone on the ground. With a quick and precise movement, she picked up the stone and prepared herself. She knew the moment was now, the chance to strike a decisive blow. With all her strength, she threw the stone, hitting Malcor's weak point, his large, single wound. The werewolf staggered, a cry of pain and surprise escaping his lips. He fell to the ground, defeated. Victory was theirs. The remaining werewolves, without their leader, fled into the shadows. The moon, still red, seemed to calm down, as if witnessing the end of the battle. Linda, exhausted but victorious, fell into Jason's arms. She felt her body burning, the ancestral power that had made her so strong diminishing. The transformation was fading. Jason held her firmly, his eyes fixed on hers, a look that transcended the differences between species. It was a look of love, of respect, of deep admiration. Love had won. In the midst of the bloody battle, love saved them. The moon finally ceased bleeding, the intense red transforming into a soft orange, almost a whisper of relief in the sky. Linda, resting against Jason's chest, felt the strength of the wolves diminishing, the transformation fading like sand through her fingers. The exhaustion was immense, but victory had a sweet taste, mixed with the pain of wounds and the fear still present. Jason embraced her tightly, protecting her from the cold that penetrated the bones, a cold that came from both the night and the fear that still haunted them. They had defeated Malcor, but the battle wasn't over. In the silence that followed the fight, a strange sound cut through the air, a metallic whisper, distant yet echoing with sinister clarity in the darkness. A sound that was neither wolf nor vampire. It was something different, a sound that chilled the blood of both, a sound that sounded like cold metal scraping on stone. Linda lifted her head, her eyes searching for the source of the mysterious sound. Exhaustion still covered her, but curiosity and fear propelled her. Jason tightened his embrace, his mouth curving into a tense smile, hiding his concern. He protected her during the battle against Malcor, but this new sound, this new threat, was unlike anything he had faced before. He didn't know the sound, but he felt it in his heart as a harbinger of something terrible. The sound approached, slowly, becoming louder, more intense. The orange moon dimly lit the landscape, revealing on the horizon a gigantic figure, a dark shadow moving with strange slowness. It was an imposing, tall silhouette that stood out against the night sky, inspiring unspeakable terror. Linda and Jason looked at each other, their pale faces reflecting the fear they both felt. They didn't know what that creature was. It wasn't a werewolf, nor a vampire. It was something much bigger, much older, much more frightening. It was something that seemed to come from another dimension, a being of incalculable power. The metallic sound increased, now accompanied by a low rumble like the distant roar of thunder. The creature approached, imposing, its outlines indistinct in the twilight, but its presence was undeniable, its power terrifying. Their fear was palpable, heavy, suffocating. The victory against Malcor seemed distant, a dream, a mere detail in the face of the new threat that approached. Jason, despite his new vampire power, felt an ancestral fear, a feeling of being powerless against a danger greater than anything he had ever imagined. The mysterious creature finally came close enough for them to see, in detail, the approaching threat. It was a metal creature, a giant machine, imposing with grotesque shapes with bright red eyes. It was an ancient, colossal armor, a war machine that seemed to emerge from the depths of the earth, bringing with it the scent of destruction and death. Linda and Jason looked at each other one last time, a look full of astonishment and despair. Could the love they had found in the midst of a bloody battle survive this? What was this new threat, this colossal machine, this metallic being that appeared out of nowhere? Would this be the end of their story? The hook at the end of the episode is this. The unknown metallic creature approached menacingly, the metallic sound was deafening, and the fear was absolute. What will they face now?